Me and Nelly were dating. Irv was salty. Irv would not let me come to the studio to record. Irv was telling everyone not to record with me. You want to be with Nelly? Go sign a dirty auntie. We don't want you. Why do I want to stay in that situation? How can I stay in that situation?
You preaching to more than the choir here. I know he was spinning the block.
That nigga happy. She happy. Don't you worry about
it. He wasn't happy.
You on your last motherfucking train, and me too. It's cool to spin the block.
Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you had done what he did and had me all through my 20s and 30s, like in and out with you, and you didn't want to really make nothing with me, and then me and you break up because of something you don't want to do, then the next year you go and marry a new bitch and stay married almost 10 years, and then she leave you ain't trying to leave her, and then you come swinging the block about 12 months later after shorty leave you, hugging on me. We old enough to know what's going on and what's not going on. Now, if she like it, obviously everybody love it, but let's not act like it's not what it's called. It's called spinning the block, and you ain't had no more options. And whatever train she on or he on, it was the last train leaving.
What I specifically said is that I didn't take the credit from you for saying spinning the block. I said it was spinning the block. What I did is you're trying to make wanting to fuck on somebody and spinning a block negative things. The reality is everybody want to fuck on somebody. They want to fuck on the people they don't want to be with, and they want to fuck on the people they do want to be with. That's just a part of human nature. What I'm saying is that wanting to fuck on somebody doesn't isolate that feeling as the only thing you want to do with that person.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is that should not have a negative connotation unless it's isolated. If that's the only thing you want to do is fuck on that person, then it can have a negative connotation. But having a carnal desire for someone doesn't make you some monster or a person without a soul or without, a direction towards wanting to be with that person. Now, when you say spinning the block, it has a negative connotation like, oh, you choosing me second. You went in there and seen what was out there, and now you back, you know what I'm saying, with your tail between your legs. What I'm saying is that spinning the block has this negative connotation in some people's eyes, not all, but in reality, a lot of adults from a broad spectrum of age ranges, from young to old. You know how many old motherfuckers went from their first wife to their second wife to their third wife to their fourth wife being their first wife? You're like, hey, how the fuck? You went all the way back to the beginning? Yeah, that is a thing that happens. And you might be 60 or 70 damn years old. My uncle had a baby with someone, raised a child, went separate ways, got married twice. The child died as an adult. They came back to the funeral to bury their child, and that's how they got back together. The why don't matter. When you bring certain people together and their energy is, now whether they left on lopsided terms, even terms, nasty terms, irrelevant. The more time you put in between those things, the less relevant they become to people who are mature and who are living in their present. And spinning a block is sometimes a more preferable option depending on where people are in their maturity level, not their options. You said options or risk. Yes, it is a risk to be in a relationship or be in love with anybody, no matter how much money you got, no matter how much your situation is desirable and you don't know someone's intentions. The fact of the matter is it's always a risk. That you can have somebody you married to and be living risky than a motherfucker. So that the risk is always a part of being with someone. Hell, spinning a block is risky, but at the end of the day, if you spinning a block you know versus a block you don't know, I think your chances fare better the second time around. And when people quote unquote spin the block, what they're looking to do is not start over completely. They're looking for familiar territory, not because they don't got options or risk. And they're not willing to take risks. It's not about that. It's about, hey, let me go and try to fix something I think still had more potential in it. And I think that's admirable to some degree, depending on your intentions. That's all.
What you're doing is taking an outlier, right? And trying to focus on the outlier to say, well, there could be some admirable people doing this. You're saying that because the public perception of spinning the block being negative, you want to go to the smallest glimmer of positivity in that and act like, oh, well, this act is admirable. Meanwhile, vast majority of human beings that do that are doing that under contexts that are not positive, contexts that usually end in divorce or separation, contexts that are not based on genuine connection. Like, this is generally the case. But you're pointing to the outliers that we usually do not see, like your uncle. We usually don't see people 70, 80 years old hooking back up. Like, we usually don't see that. That's a rarity of a thing. Like, to get married 3 times and then try a 4th time, that's a rarity of a thing, no matter who you're getting married to. So again, you're pointing to outliers, whereas I'm speaking to generally what the case is. And then for this specific case with Nelly and Ashanti, I'm pointing to the context from which history has said this is the situation that them two are in. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not negating that there are some people that will spin the block because they realize that, hey, this person was really for me. But generally speaking, when niggas is spinning the block, you know what they spinning the block for.
Tell me what it is. Why they spinning the block?
Every dude that I have ever been with has spent the block on me. Know that. Every dude has spent the block in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Some has been subtle, some have been bold, but everybody has tried to spin the block. Now, I don't have to go into with you as to why. I mean, good things don't come often, but most people, they fuck around on good things because they really don't deserve it. And that's what I'm saying. When you deserve a good thing, it's because you did a good thing. And you deserve the good thing. You don't deserve the good thing because you fucked over it for I don't know how long and then decided, oh, I don't want to be alone. Let me get something because I don't want to pay the consequences of fucking off for 25 years. Like, that's not how life is set up. That's not how this works.
There are a lot of scenarios of people who don't deserve what they got. And they came back because they realized, hey, nigga, it ain't nothing better out here than you. Okay, sure. That might be 50% of people. I don't deny that. But another 30% may be people who did deserve to get what they got. However, then they come to realize this thing that I have is requiring more of me than I have to give, or I know how to give, or I know how to take care. It's like you buying an exotic animal. Like, I always wanted a tiger, and I get a cub, but then it grows, and then it's like, oh, well, what the fuck am I doing with this? And I don't know how to accommodate for this. This is too much for me. There's a lot of people who aren't prepared for what they're asking for, which is why they say be careful what you ask for, because you just might get it. And what happens is sometimes God allow you to have exactly what you want, just so you can see that you're not ready for it. So that when the opportunity presents itself again, you will be ready. So whether it comes in the form of a different person or whether it comes in the form of the same person and another opportunity at that same person, it does not disqualify or say that you never were a worthy person just because you didn't know how to manage and take care of that beautiful thing that you did deserve, but you just weren't tactical or skillful enough to know how to care for it at that time. Now you've had some time. Now you know what the situation is. And a lot of times what will happen is you will happen chance upon something like it. Not the same thing, not the same person, but you'll happen chance against somebody that reminds you of that thing. And you will latch onto that thing. And you will try to pour everything that you didn't pour into the last one into that thing. And a lot of times it works. And the person who isn't that person is like, damn, motherfucker, shit. Why didn't you do that with me? Because that's all it would have taken. But every now and again, that person gets another chance at you. And you get to be the thing that you weren't the initial time. And then now it's even more beautiful because you have memories to remind you of where you came from, remind you of how you fucked this up before. You have notes and markers where other people who are in a new relationship have all of this territory to cover, all of these conversations to rehash out. That's why people don't want to start over again. They don't want to have the same fucking conversations over again. They don't want to tell the same stories over again. They won't want to have all the same experiences over again with someone new and pretend that it's exciting. They want to pick up where the fuck they left off. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a matter of I don't have options. It's about where I'm at in my life and how far do I want to go backwards with a new motherfucker.
You're saying that it's not that I don't have options. Meanwhile, you're not defining what options did he have. The
option to try it again with someone else with no guarantee.
That's not that is a risk. I got the opportunity.
There are no guarantees.
That's not an option.
Do you hear what I'm saying to you? There are no guarantees. So what you're claiming are options are guarantees. Because I don't give a fuck if you think someone has your best interest in mind and that regardless of your status, financial, celebrity, or anything else, that they're going to put you first. Where the fuck are all these people? Nobody got no options if you got them saying it like that.
That's not what I'm saying, and that's not the context that this circumstance is in. When you have been with someone 10 years, you know what you got. They're not a risk. You know what you have. To go at it again and again and again and again and again to fail completely until you continue to fail, even in marriage. You are risking it all, no matter what the fuck you think you're doing. There is no options out here for you. And he had to come to grips with no matter how much money you got, the only option you have is what you left back there. And if she ain't taking you back, you fucked, son. Seriously. That's why I said last train leaving. If she don't take you back, she the only chick that ever really fucked with you for real. That ain't trying to do you in. That ain't trying to just flagrantly push you off. That got her own money and time or using you for clout or whatever the case may be. She the only chick you ever met that ain't did that to you. Outside your mama and your sister.
You got options?
She is the last, listen, she the last train leaving. You know why? Because she's not an option. She's not even a risk. You know what you got with her, or let's say what you had with her. So if she takes you back, that's a blessing. But if she don't, understand, all you got to look forward to is what you risk it. And trust me, the older you get, the more money you get, the more risk you taking on. And that is what it is. That happens to everybody. But in his case, because he's a celebrity, it's just amplified. Everything is just amplified. So, I mean, I'm not saying anything about her and him actually matching. I'm not speaking about the match per se, because I don't really know if they match or not. I mean, it looked like they could match. I don't know. But what's funny is that he didn't break up with her because he wanted to go and fuck off on a bunch of females. That's not why he broke up with her. Because the very next year, he put a fat ass ring on somebody else's finger. He did not break up with Ashanti because he just wanted to sow his oats and see what else is out there. That's not why he broke up with her. They just been fucking around.
What we do know is that when Nelly hooked up with Ashanti, this time, since you're talking about history, why the fuck we talking about history? Talk about what's going on now. And the reality is that nigga happy as he ever been. He nigga cheesing in every fucking picture. Somebody actually took the time, because the internet is a weird place, and put all of the pictures of him with this lady that you say he left Ashanti for, and put all the pictures that he took with her side by side at these different events. And then they put all of the pictures beside him and Ashanti now. And this nigga, you can see all his goals and molars in the back. This nigga is too happy to not be smiling. He can't not smile. Mm-hmm. Aside from the baby he just put in Ashanti. Let's just start there. So the whole idea is that this ain't him playing with her again or some old bullshit. He actually want to be with her. You don't spin the block on a person you don't want to be with. And if you do, you damn sure don't do it publicly. You just fuck on them and say, hey, remember the sex used to be good? Yeah, let's knock it out a couple of more times while we in between relationships. That's a different kind of spin the block.
There is different types of spins the blocks. It is. Women spin the block for different reasons, just like men spin the block for different reasons. Now, if you should so happen to spin the block because you, like you said, you want familiarity. You don't want to keep telling the same stories. You tired. You 50 years old. I mean, you tired of being on the dating market. You 50 fucking years old. Like, this is what you got to work with. And if she ain't trying to work with you, bruh, last train leaving, and this is what it is. Like, let's not argue over the fact that this your last train leaving. At your age, you almost a senior citizen. So chill out. This is your last train leaving. You better smile. You better be happy, because what other option do you have? This is just my life, but I've never met anybody that I felt that the need to go backwards with. Like they say, life don't come with, well, if you're looking in the rear view mirror, you can't be going forward too fast. Okay. Like I've never had that circumstance. And honestly, if for me to even capitulate doing that is for me to literally like undo all the lessons God has given me, like to do something.
You had a very unique life.
That's what I said. I said that's me.
I'm saying don't say it like everybody else is weird for doing that. Your circumstances have created conditions where it would be maybe ill-advised to go back. However, depending on other people and their circumstances, their going back could be beneficial. It could be healthy. It could be something that they should go back to. They may have made a mistake leaving it in the first place. You may have made a mistake in staying too long and missed some trains. So it could all be said in different ways. So the fact that you don't want to go back means that there's nothing that you've seen that was desirable to go back to, which doesn't mean that is a bad idea. That just means that wasn't your experience based on the people you had been involved with. There's a lot of people who've been involved with people who have grown over time, who have gotten better over time, who really wasn't that bad off, but they weren't that good in the first place. But they've gone better, they've grown bigger, and now it makes sense. So what I'm saying is it's not a fucked up paradigm. It's just something that just hasn't fallen in that direction in your life. So it may be hard for you to conceptualize going back. But the reality is, depending on the situation, it could be beneficial based on the timing. And I think that you have to acknowledge timing and not try to litigate their relationship from the outside, because I believe that if you were a fly on the wall, or they were to do a documentary and say, hey, let's Nelly and Ashanti sit down and let's tell the real story, the details of what happened between 2003 and 2013, and then what happened between then and why we here now. I think that they both would have a lot to say about where they both went wrong, where they both went right to even be in a position to come back to each other and have a successful comeback. Because just because a motherfucker spin the block don't mean a nigga finna get in a car with you. And even if they do, that don't mean you finna rise right up the street and wreck and be like, damn, I knew I shouldn't have got in with you.
But see, babe, what I'm trying to draw on is that when men, because a lot of the point on the thread was he has money, thus he has options. And I'm trying to draw on the point, no, he's just as human as anybody else. When he missed his opportunity, that's exactly what the fuck he did. And he will live the ramifications of missing said opportunity or screwing up said opportunity. So it's like, just because he got money don't mean anything. And again, people lose sight of this to say, well, he could have had any woman. Yeah, that just want to use him for his money. He could have. He tried it. He tried it. You see what happened, right? Like, he tried it. He thought.
No, I don't see what happened. Nobody see what happened because nobody got a view into what happened.
I'm
so
saying
everything is just conjecture.
Listen, he tried it by getting married the next year. You see how well that worked out. So even in marriage, like you said, there's no guarantees. So if you fuck up a good opportunity, there's no guarantee you're going to get a second go round at it. It's none. Most people don't. So if you got an opportunity to have a second go round at it, one, you were spinning the block. Two, that is your last train leaving. You don't get 3 strikes to spin blocks.
Oh, you might not get 3. Some niggas get 10.
No, nobody has
you
got 10.
You say how many lives a nigga get.
You something. If you spent the block 10 times, I don't need to even say what that is.
It's just a matter. Listen, here's the thing, right? It's not about spinning a block. We passed that. I already said what I had to say on that. The reason that this conversation is interesting to me, and that, you know, it makes sense for you to come back to it, and I asked you to table it till later, is because we were having a similar conversation about people that weren't us. And the reality is that you said something that I had not heard anyone say, which is you don't have options, you have risk. Mm-hmm. What those people have is risk. Now, here's the nuance to that. Most people don't see their options as risk, theoretically, because we try to be optimistic about our chances with new people, like the green grass. You don't say, okay, let me cross over there to the green grass, but you know, it could be shit in it. No, you be like, nigga, I know it's shit in this grass and it ain't green. So the reality is it could be snakes over there in that grass. It could be ant hills. It could be shit. It could be a hole that you're going to break your ankle in. You don't know. It's green to the motherfucker from here, though. So those opportunities is what I would call it. And I think the fact that you use the word opportunity is a Freudian slip or a conscious act. But the reality is that opportunity is also what they call opportunity cost. For everything you're doing, there's something you're not doing. Mm-hmm. So the fact of the matter is, for every person you're with, there's someone you're not with who could have been your person, someone you let get by you. So it's always a 50-50 chance of you having success and or failure. So at the end of the day, even though every time you step out there, it's risky, and you can take a calculated risk and say, hey, this one looks less risky than that one, but there's no guarantees in none of this shit. And the fact that there's no guarantee, by definition, makes it a risk. But it doesn't mean that it's not an option. It's an opportunity. You have an opportunity to apply for another job. You have an opportunity to go in business. You have an opportunity to start another relationship, but there's no guarantee that that job is going to work out, that business is going to work out, or that relationship is going to work out. There's no guarantee. So everything is also an opportunity and a risk simultaneously, meaning that you do have these options. Just no guarantee.
No, the idea of option is misconstrued. If you have something that's worth something and you lose it and say, well, you know what? I'm a good looking person. I have options. In the world of human beings, you don't, as a single person that just got out of an actual relationship that was working for you, you don't have, out of 8 trillion people, not even 5. So when you say, well, you know, I'm a good looking person, I have options. No, you have, like, maybe the words, the verbiage is, I have the opportunity to get used, abused, and all sorts of shit over the next 20 years. Because in reality, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So therefore, with each day that goes past, I got to learn lessons because of what the fuck I did do, or what I did do in terms of screwing up in the past. You fuck over people, right? You gotta reap that before you can deserve anything, let alone the same person. Okay. So it's like, now you're talking about time. Human beings don't live very long. Now you're talking about experiences that can't be undone. And I'm going to be honest with you, a 50-50 opportunity is not something that I'm looking forward to. If I had a 50-50 chance of getting shot when I walk out that door, that's an opportunity that I won't get shot. But a 50-50 chance I am going to get shot? Come on now. Like, I'm not walking out that door, opportunity or not. That's too high of a risk at 50-50. Right. Guess what? Relationships are even higher than 50-50 of failure. So what I'm saying is, as an ordinary person, to find a friend, a genuine friend, is a rare thing. As an ordinary person, as somebody with a high level of celebrity and money, it's even rarer to find someone genuine. That's the reality. That's just like how life is. That's nobody's fault, but that's the reality. So it's like, to sit and say, oh, I can just go out there and find another genuine friend tomorrow. Like, that's
no. They're not saying that all of these people are just laid across the street. They're saying the opportunity is laid across the street.
Okay. Well, I'll say this to kind of close it out. Again, opportunity to try something again only seems like a good thing when you think the odds are in your favor. But when you realize that the odds is not in your favor, and that is the way of life, then it looks very different. The older you are as a woman, the less odds you have of winning anything good. That's just the nature of life. Men want babies. Men want viable women. Men want a lot of things. That's not happening the closer you get to 50 and 60. So that's a reality you're going to have to accept as a woman. So to sit and say you have the same options you had when you were 20 at 60, that's delusion, period. And it's the same for men, which is what my focus was today. Even if with money, men don't just want good looking women. They want women they can trust. And that does not come a dime a dozen. And it doesn't come because you have money either. So as much as people think, oh, you got money, you got options. Sure, you have opportunities to experience different women, sure. But the more you experience women you can't trust, women that will put you in life-threatening situations, women that will turn your children against you, women that will cut you, women that will give you STDs, that will embarrass you. The list goes on. The more you experience that, the least likely you even gonna want an opportunity to explore again. With each one that screw you up, that it's gonna be a little less likely you even gonna want to even do it. So, with that being the case, it's nothing wrong with understanding that the last train leaving is your train. So you better be on that bitch.
Now, you said what you said in reference to opportunities and making sure that we don't miss these opportunities, because everything that essentially that's shining ain't gold. And for you to actually get something that is gold, you should value it, hold on to it, and realize the chances of you getting another piece ain't very high. So in this case, I think the only thing that we disagree on is that you're saying these opportunities are not options because there's no guarantee. But however, what I'm saying is that there's so many people who don't even get the opportunity, who there are nobody returning their calls. They don't get the interview. Fuck whether this is going to be another good job or a piece of shit job. They can't even get the interview. They can't even get a return phone call. People tell them, sorry, we're not hiring. The reality is that the women that they want or the men that they want aren't even giving them an opportunity to find out that they're a piece of shit. So the fact when people say they have options, they're saying, at least I got some opportunities. I think I'll bet on myself in that I can get another piece of gold. I'll bet on myself and say that I'll get enough chances and enough swings at bat that I'll hit a home run and y'all will be cheering for me again. I'll get on base if nothing else. And at the end of the day, if that's good enough for me, fuck what you think. I'm definitely gonna come up to bat again. Don't worry about me striking out. I'll be back up to bat and I'll be swinging again, whether you laughing at me missing or not. It's some other niggas, they're gonna be in the dugout looking at me swing. They're not gonna get another at bat.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what when men say options, that's what we mean. We don't mean I'm gonna find another Lola. I'm gonna find another diamond in the rough, or someone to treat me well, or somebody I can trust and turn my back to. I might have to sleep with one eye open, but it won't be alone. That's what we mean.
I see what you're saying. Somebody to just physically be in the same room with me that I don't trust and don't really want to be with, but at least somebody there. That's your option?
The comparison is for a nigga that don't got nothing but his motherfucking hand in a warm blanket. That's the comparison. Because there's some people, they're going to get a dog and die alone. A nigga's not even going to give them a shot.
And why is that?
Ask them, case by case basis. They may have missed too many things. They may have overestimated their own value.
Okay. So overestimating your value is not remote to people who have options, as they say. It's not remote to that. It's remote. Everybody has to estimate their worth, right? And a lot of people, given the statistics in the world, overestimate. So when we say, hey, what you think is your option is really just a risk, what I'm saying is, at least to me, in the context I'm speaking of, is that if I got you and you are someone that's there for me that completes me, if I want to sit and act like you're not who you are and think, oh, I'm about to meet you in the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years, when it's been how many years? You see what I'm saying? People gonna look at me and say, Lola, the best you might do is to find a fuckboy. Like at this point. So you might not need to act like there's so many Vics sitting around just waiting on you to become single. There's a lot of men that will deal with you, but they're not Vic, and by no means in terms of what Vic represents.
You better listen to your homegirl.
I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, they're not Vic. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not speaking of it from a standpoint of someone who's never been in a relationship and don't have anything to compare it to. What I'm saying is, like, for instance, in Nelly's case, he had something and he, for whatever reason, felt like whatever, and went on, but then realized after he went on, you better get back on that train before he leave. Like, seriously, you better, because there's men that have done just that and missed that train, and they were on their deathbed thinking about it. Like I've seen that in with my own two eyes. I've seen that. So there's more men like that than it is of Nelly. So shout out to Nelly. I hope that they last. I hope that they work out. I really do. Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking hater of the year award goes to
not you. At
all
the
the bad things in the world happen to you and only you.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I'm a shoo-in for hater of the year. All right, babe. I like to close this topic by saying, mind your business. That nigga happy, she happy. Don't you worry about
that he wasn't
you
happy.
you on your last motherfucking train, and me too. It's cool to spin the block.
What block have you ever spent?
I'm spinning the one on you. How about that?
You ain't spinning the block, bro. No, you didn't.
Okay. Stop. Yeah, I sent you. I passed you by, and then I was like, nah, hold up. Hit that UE. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you, light skin. Come here. Let me talk to you real quick.
That's not what happened. Okay. That's not what happened.
Okay. Shit. What if I didn't spin the block and just let you go by? Fuck you mean?
So,
train. We both waiting on it.
I love the way you look in the morning, shining like the sun through the blinds in my window. I love all of your curves and your little imperfections. I love the way you smile and the way that your skin glows. Baby, you're incredible the way that you are. I love the way you love, cause you love with your heart. The sky's the only limit, baby, you are the star. So shine for me, baby girl, play your part.
They say beauty's only skin deep, sleeping on you cause they can't see what I see.